where you will get to know about the financials and our building trust fund and also the advocacy priorities that we do the whole year. So I'll first introduce myself. I'm Manpreet Kaur. I'm the president of the SA, that's Students Association, and I'll be hosting this meeting today. So I'll start the meeting. It's called to order. It's 12:09 p.m. We'll begin with the land acknowledgement. I would like to acknowledge that we are located on Treaty 1 territory, and the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of Red River Metis. Now we'll go through the Robert's Rule of Order, which we need to move and second the motions that are here in this agenda. You can see. So Navpreet will be presenting Robert's Rule of Order presentation so that it can be helpful.
Sorry, can I see you?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Navpreet Kaur. I am Vice President of Academic for Student Association. So to begin the meeting, I will talk a little bit of Robert's Rule of Order. So basically, Robert was a person who analyzed and who grabbed the information that to go a meeting in a systematic way, there should be a rules that we follow. So I'm just going to grab a quick peek of the presentation in front of you. So here's the Robert's Rules presentation. So I'll just move to the step of motions because that's what we need today. So for in a meeting when there's a motion is something that we need to approve. So in this meeting we are going to approve some motions. For the motion, there is one that's a mover and there's a second that's a seconder. So a move is what person will say I move. That means included in agenda or made at the meeting, and the seconder will be, it is not that seconder is the favor, but he agrees that this is a information that is worth discussing, and then the motion will be debated, in which if anybody have a question they can ask, and then the motion will be voted, and if everybody is in favor, then we will move the motion. So that's the steps of motion. Now I would like to go to Manpreet to start the meeting.
So when you will be moving or seconding the motion, please raise your hand and speak your name so that we can write it on our records, and we'll provide you the minutes for that afterwards. It will be on our website too. So our financial statements will be on our website as well. We'll post it there so you can go through as well if you want to afterwards. So I'll start the meeting. So first of all, there is a motion to adopt the agenda, that's to adopt 2022 AGM agenda as presented. May I get a mover? Harjinder moved. May I get a seconder? Ryan seconded. All in favor? Please raise your hands. Everyone. Okay, motion carried. Now we'll move on to the next motion, that is to adopt last year Red River College Polytechnic Students Association, November 23rd, 2021 AGM minutes. May I get a mover? What's the name? Terry. Okay, Terry moved. May I get a seconder? You need to be a student to second the motion.
Okay.
Okay, Charika seconded. Charika. Okay, so all in favor or any debate? So these are the minutes. You can see on the screen as well. Are you able to see the screen at the end?
No.
Sure. Is it good now?
It's okay.
these are the minutes from last year. And that's it. So all in favor or any discussions on this motion and questions? No questions? Okay, so all in favor? Please raise your hands if you are in favor to approve this motion. Okay, motion carried. Anyone opposed? No one? Okay, motion carried. Next, we'll move on to the presentation of audited financial statements. First, we'll go through the motion and then Steve will be presenting it. So there is a motion that the membership accept the audited financial statements of Red River College Polytechnic Students Association Inc. For the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2022 as presented. May I get a mover? Ryan moved. May I get a seconder? Okay, what's your name?
What's your name?
Jazel? Okay, Jazel seconded. So, Steve, please present the motion.
All right, thanks everybody. My name is Steve. I work for the Students Association. You're doing fantastic. A lot of this is new for everybody. This is the first AGM that the student leaders that you elected are doing this. So I'm just going to try to make this as exciting as possible with numbers. So the Students Association, because we are incorporated, we are run by the student body. So the student body oversees us. We have a board, we have a few board members here. They oversee the financials and the spending of the money and the budgets. What we have here is we have a third party that comes in and looks at our budget, looks at the money that came in, looks at our invoices, looks at the different things that we do when we spend money and said, yes, you appropriately spent your money. Yes, you have an invoice for $250 and you paid it. Here's the bank statements. So this is the checks and balances that we have that this auditor does for us. Okay, so that's kind of the process. This is just a report. This, we operate not necessarily within a calendar year, but we kind of follow the school year. So this is a snapshot in time of last year. So we can't do anything about these numbers, we can't change them, they're just a snapshot. So this is where the money that we collect from you, the students, goes towards. Okay, does that make sense? I'm just gonna highlight a few of them. So just to give you as an example, so the Students Association brings in about $4 million. Some of that money is specifically in buckets, and we'll talk about those buckets. The college, which we are completely separate from, I don't know if you knew this, we get no funding from the college, we get no funding from government. We are a non-profit student organization. I don't know if you mentioned that. So this is how we spent your money. The college itself's budget is $100 million. They also get an audited, we're $4 million. So we are fully transparent to all students and the public. We have this, and this will be available in our offices and online through our website. If you take anything away from this presentation, we have our own website, which you should go and look at. It has all our services, our programs, our financials, where we spend our money, who works for the association. We are rrcsa.ca, okay? All this information is on the website. Anybody can go at any time. Make sense? Okay, so I'm just gonna highlight a few of the things, because there's those of us that like numbers, and those of us that just like spending our money, right? So this is kind of where we spent our money. So if you take a look at this, there's a rambling on what the auditor does, who they are. We have, our auditor has been with us for over 10 years, so they know our association. They know us, they know how we operate, they know what we do, they know we're a student organization. They know that students every year, and our board gets turned over every year, so they understand that and they know that, okay? So they have a full recommendation that we go through. They'll have different points. that they're going to recommend for next year for us. But again, this is a report. You can't change it. We're just acknowledging it, and you're acknowledging that they looked at it. It's called FPLS Accounting Group. That's our auditor. Okay? So I'm just going to stop at the first page. So this is their general kind of operation and our finances. So the far right column is the 2021, so that's 2 years ago, and then 2022 is last year. We are in a new year this year that we're operating in. You won't see that till next year. You just approve the minutes from the past meeting. So your names are going to be on that list next year when we do this for those students. If you're around, come on and we'll do that. Okay? So we're just looking at the 2022 because that's what we're approving today. Okay? So we're bringing in about $600,000 in your student fees. Again, we'll talk about the different buckets. So we have a number of other fees that we collect. We have an advocacy fee, if you didn't know. We're going to do an advocacy presentation next, take about 5 minutes. What are we advocating? How are we advocating for you, the students, at the different levels? Okay? We have a wellness fee too. We have programming. How many of you went to the haunted house? Okay, so that's an event that we did. We have an events department that puts that on. We also are coming up with some Christmas and holiday things that are coming up. So look more for events, and there's a number of different events and clubs. Okay, so if you take a look at this, we brought in $918,000. If you take a look at that right here. Okay, we only spent $843,000. So basically, we have left over at the end of the year $74,629. So what does that mean? We have left over. Perfect, right? We didn't spend as much as we brought in. Fantastic. Well, what do we do with that? We put it in the bank, and we also use it to spend elsewhere, and we'll use it this year. Okay? Make sense? Good. So basically, big picture, we have $74,629 at the end of the year that went back into the bank. Okay? Good. I'm just gonna, there's lots of numbers. Anybody here can set up a meeting with me. I know Ryan set up a meeting yesterday. I'm available. My office is here. I come downtown. I have the office at the other campus. I'll go through the numbers if they fascinate you and if you have any questions. Okay? So just moving on, just a few highlights. We talked about the different buckets, right? So we have different buckets. So we have a general bucket that we have health fund. So everybody here, if you're a student, you pay $255 to get your domestic health and dental benefits. Okay? So $255, that's on your student fee line. If you're an international student, you also pay an additional $766.50 because you don't get Manitoba Health. Does that make sense? We're the cheapest health plan premium in the province. University of Manitoba students, they pay over $1,000 for that international fee. For what you get for $255 and $766, you are covered for the year. You are a student, but you're also an employee. So when you get into the workforce, and I do this presentation as well in orientations, you're starting your careers. So the first thing you ask when you get hired, two things. How much do I get paid? What are my benefits? This is the bucket. This is what we're doing. We're providing benefits to you, the student. We want you to use it. We have chiro, physio, massage, glasses, prescriptions, everything under a normal plan you get for $255. Please use it. If you don't know, come to Leslie and we'll tell you about your benefits plan. Okay? The other one is our building fund. A portion of your student fee gets put into a bucket for building and for different projects that we do and we support. There's a Manitowoc building over there. College just did. They're looking for $100 million support. We as a Students Association, through our board and through the process, contributed $500,000 towards this. So we think it's important students use it, that we have space in there. So we've decided through this building fund to give $500,000 over 5 years. We do lots of other projects, but that's just a kind of one piece. Navpreet will go through some of the other projects in a little presentation. It takes 2 minutes to see how much money did we give to the college and other areas for building. And that's like physical things, couches, chairs, tables, things like that, okay? And again, so if you take a look at, we have a total of $3.46 million. That is what we're worth. The Students Association is worth $3.4 million. So if you say, you go home and you say, hey, I'm a part of a $3.4 million organization. You were here today acknowledging that, and you can say, hey, I've never seen that much money, I've never seen that much money. But again, we all together collectively own this. This is the students' money. We are accountable to you, how we spend it, and this is a little snapshot. So we went from 2.9 million 2 years ago to 3.4. We actually increased in wealth, I guess, if you call it, okay? Makes sense? I'm gonna highlight a few more pieces here, and then we'll kind of ask if there's any questions. So again, talking about financial position, the previous one kind of was just a little underestimated, so we went from a financial position, just let me pull my notes, of, is this page 5? I think so. Yeah, so we went from a financial position of $3.3 million 2 years ago to 3.8. The other one was actual cash. This is cash assets. We actually don't own anything. We're tenants here in the building. The college owns anything. So if you're a renter and you rent space and you rent your apartment, it's kind of the same thing. You occupy space, you're allowed to operate, you can come and go, you have locks, you can bring your furniture. That's kind of what we are and what we do. But we're specifically targeted to helping you, the students. Make sense? Okay? So just a few highlighting summary. So last year, we put in $90,000 into our endowment, which means we wanted to increase student scholarships. So we took a part of that money and we put it into an endowment, which allows us to create more scholarships for students. If you didn't know, you should go on the college's website, go on our website. We have over 29 scholarships. They're about $1,000 each. You should sign up, you should apply, look at them. Some of them are needs-based, right? I need this because I financially I need it. There's some that are marks-based, I have 90s or 95s. Some of them are tell us how you helped out in the community. Tell us how you volunteer, right? Tell us how you've been green, right? We have a number of different scholarships. Go online. If they don't get applied for, I think the money just sits there. So we added 90,000. We're always looking to increase our endowments, which turns into scholarships, or turns into money for you. Make sense? We also hired a new student life director for this campus, right? Denise is sitting over there, so we decided let's put some resources into a new staff member here. So there's lots more activity, lots more students. The Via Rail students came here, now they're here. This campus is as busy as the other campus. We have the numbers, Leslie can prove it. How many people come in your office, right? So we, last year, had this AGM at the Notre Dame campus. This year, we had it at this campus, okay? So we're just kind of maybe looking to flip-flop because there is a whole campus over there. We did have, actually one student came. I don't wanna, there you go, right? So, or a few. So, again, we have multiple campuses, but again, we represent all students. Again, I said this, a full complete audit package will be available online on our website. We can, for 2023, so this year we continue to look to enhance our club programs, right? We're trying to increase that. Harjinder was instrumental in kind of creating that and starting that process. We want to continue that process. So, and that's the engagement piece. We're also looking for different space opportunities. This campus, right, we have the Mercantile, what are we going to do with it, right? Maybe some mental health space. At the other campus, Notre Dame, you have a proposal in for a mental health space and a mental health lounge, right? This is a little bit tighter here because there's not a lot of space available, but maybe there's some opportunities for us to fund things, specifically lounges for students, different things. We're also looking to fund or support the college in the laptop program this year, right? So we have some money set aside for that. So if you need a laptop in emergency, you go to the library and they'll help you, okay? She's giving me the 2-minute warning. So my last comment is the Students Association continues to remain financially sound. We have proper financial processes and policies in place with dedicated staff. I'm a staff, Leslie, Chloe, Denise, Gemma, we're all staff that support the Students Association. We want to operate in a sustainable manner as we continue to provide valuable services to students. Okay? So that's kind of in general, in a nutshell of this. Hopefully you can take something away. Our website, maybe a scholarship, different things. Hopefully it was a little bit interesting. I try to make these numbers a little more interesting. Make sense? So now I'm going to ask if there's any questions on this. I'll try to answer them. I am not an accountant. We have accountants, we have people that look after the numbers. I just present them. That's all I do. Okay? So if you have any questions, you can ask them now or come to me after. Okay? So Manpreet's going to come back and we're looking to approve these. So again, this is a process, so if you're in favor of it, you would raise your hand. If you're opposed, then you would oppose that. But again, this is a snapshot, so I urge us to approve this. But again, that's up to you. I have no control over that. Thank you. Any questions? All right. 1 minute to spare.
Okay, any questions for Steve? No questions? Last call. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask him later. We can move on. We are short of time. Yeah, okay, so are you guys in favor for the motion? Raise your hands. Everyone who is in favor. All students, please. Okay. And anyone opposed? No? Okay, motion carried. So we'll move on to the next motion, that is to appointment of the auditors for the 2022-23 fiscal year. So we are appointing the auditor here. So there is a motion that the Red River College Polytechnic Students Association Incorporated appoint FPLS accounting group as the auditors for the fiscal year 2022-23. May I get a mover? Teddy moved. May I get a seconder? Ryan seconded. Any questions on this? Ryan. Any questions? Any discussions? Nothing? Okay. All in favor? Please raise your hands up like this. I can't see your hands. Okay. Anyone opposed? Okay. Motion carried. So we'll move on next. That's next item on the agenda is Red River College Polytechnic Students Association Building Trust Fund. So Naprit will be presenting that.
Okay, so now I'm gonna present a presentation. So I'm going to present for the Building Trust Fund Committee that Student Association have. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what it is. Steve had already told a lot, so I'm just going to say talk about Building Trust Fund, what that is. So student associations collect student fees, as Steve said, that so every student, we receive amount of fee from student that we use. So student fee for capital. So what what we do with that money is we for capital renovation, maintenance, and building projects and spaces. So there's like a fund that there's an account. So that fund goes there. That's called Building Trust Fund. So the trust fund is designed to improve and develop student spaces on all campuses, provides repair and maintenance for existing student spaces, provide funding for capital investment for existing services. We support new student capital projects that I'm going to talk a little bit more about later, and then support RRC campus capital initiatives as well. So the trust fund collects about 1 lakh to 1,20,000 per year. So that's the fund that we have in our trust fund account. So the student executives SA staff, trust fund committee, and student association board develops ideas and create plans, coordinate projects throughout the year. So here is some of the major projects over the years that we that we participate. So I'm just gonna, you can have a look at this, and I'm gonna talk about like last 3 years. So in 2019, we upgrades our sign for both EDC and NDC campuses. That's worth 30,000. And then we built a Spectrum lounge that's in the NDC. If you ever get a chance to go to NDC, there's a lounge that we built. So that was in 2019. And then we have Innovation Center. We made a sandbox zone there. That was completed in October. That was worth 5 lakh. And then it's 2022. We upgraded our LED lights in Cape, that's in NDC campus. And then we changed because college goes from RRC called Red River College to RRC Polytech. So we upgrade our sign according to that as well. Due to COVID, we couldn't really do much, but now we are looking forward to do more. So this is kind of a round figure. That's the total trust fund support that we have done so far from 2023 to 2022. And we are looking for the potential trust fund support that we are planning to do further. That's for mental health, student mental health lounge and DC. So we are going further to build a lounge for mental health. And then there's NDC merchandise development that we are planning to do. So this is the committee. This is called Building Trust Fund Committee that we have, that we use in capital investments. That's basically to have buildings, to have more spaces for students. So this is the committee funds that we use for them. Now I would like to hand over to Manpreet.
Okay, thanks Naprit for this. Do you guys have any questions on this? Anyone? No one? Okay. So
I have a question, sorry.
okay, yeah.
How do you decide what projects you want to do or what is the next project? How do you decide that? Because well, I have only 8 months here in the school and we have never listened some votations or some survives to ask us what we need to improve our school.
Okay, Steve, do you want to answer?
Could have answered this. So the Students Association, we have a number of committees that we have. So the executives would be one way that we can kind of see what the need is for students. We also have our board too that kind of sees and are the eyes and ears of the association. If and sometimes some people approach us, so students like yourselves and our college departments approach us to try to see, would you consider funding this? But if you're a student and if you see something out there, come to the Students Association office, come to the VP External Affairs at this campus, talk to them and say, hey, I think we need this. The biggest piece is space. We don't own anything, first of all, and the space is very limited. So we can see an existing space that we can expand maybe, right? One of the things on the projects was Mercantile. So if you don't know what the Mercantile is, it was a former store. That's where the haunted house is, that's where the holiday thing is. What can we do with that space? If you have any ideas, bring that forward. And we'll think about them, talk about them. We need to get a consultant in to kind of get an idea for that size, what we can do, right? It would be nice to get a Spectrum, a safe space on this campus. It would be nice to do a club space on campus. Like, there's different ideas, but if you have new ideas, come talk to us and we'll kind of consider them. But we have to remember that just because you're here for 8 months, the people before you have also contributed, and the spaces that were developed, they did at that time, and you enjoy that space. We have a food bank too here, right? That space here that we've developed. So if you use that and you need that, that's a service we provide. Some of the lounges too, and different things like that. Okay? Kind of makes sense?
Yes,
Come talk to us. We'll consider it for sure.
thank you.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Also, like we have our suggestion box at EDC campus as well. You can put your suggestions in there. I can see one hand over there.
Yes, I have a one suggestion or question. Because I have experience, my personal experience.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Is it a question or a suggestion?
It's a question and suggestion. I want to share my personal experience. I started my training in English last year in my home country because had a COVID, and to take a 2-term online. But the insurance for health here at Red River College, I paid completely and not move for the date when I arrived to Canada start. But I asked somebody for the support, for anyone support and pay all money for 1 year and only use when I arrived to Canada, when I stay here 3 months ago. That I think this is a suggestion, or maybe the question for the insurance health when you renew the contract for this year, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so for that, you can come to our office and talk to us. You can also always, if you are at EDC, you can talk to SAVP External. And she is always there in her office, like in the office hours. Or you can also put in the suggestion box online as well. Like whenever the office is closed, you can always go to the website and put your suggestions or questions online as well. So we can connect you and give you more information.
Yes, I sent the mail because I am online. I am in my home country last 8 months ago. But my connection from here is only online. I share information with my teacher in that moment, with a support international too, with health too, but anyone help me. I finished, paid all my money for all year and only use when I arrived Canada last 3 months ago. And I need to renew for the next year.
Mhm.
That I think is bad,
So you can also book an appointment with any executive online as well. We can meet you online via Teams or Zoom if you whatever is very easy to access for you as well. So we can do that as well, and you can always bring your issues to us.
Okay, thank
Sounds
you.
good?
Yes, that's
Okay.
good.
Any other questions? Or you can ask later. We are short of time. Okay, let's move on to the next item, that's RRCSA advocacy priorities. So here's the presentation. I'll keep it short and sweet for 2 minutes. So, just a minute. Okay. So these are the members of, we are members of CASA and MAPS, that's CASA is Canadian Alliance of Post-Secondary Students, where we advocate for students on a federal level, like to the federal government. And then we are also members of MAPS, that is Manitoba Alliance of Post-Secondary Students, where we advocate for students on provincial level. We also advocate for students internally, like with the college itself as well. So, first of all, what is CASA? CASA is a non-partisan and national lobby organization. It focuses on accessible, affordable, and high-quality post-secondary education in all over Canada, and it also represents more than 400,000 students all over Canada. CASA also advocates for students using policy development and research, awareness campaign, government relations, and partnerships with other stakeholders. These are the members of CASA, and we recently, some new members also joined, so we don't have those right now. And these are the CASA priorities for 2022. That's students' financial aid. We are also advocating for truth and reconciliation in post-secondary education. We are also advocating for supporting international students. And if you have any questions on that as well, you can always come to myself or VP External. And we are also advocating for mental health support so that government can provide more funding to that. Okay. Next we have MAPS. It is also a non-partisan but provincial lobbying partnership. MAPS strives to improve the accessibility, affordability, and quality of post-secondary education in Manitoba and ensure fair and equitable treatment for students. So there are 5 members of MAPS. Recently, in like last 2-3 weeks, University of Brandon also joined MAPS as well. It is not here right now, but yeah, we do represent all over Manitoba. And these are the priorities for MAPS for this year. We are also having our provincial lobby week on like tomorrow. It's tomorrow, so we'll be advocating to the provincial government. We'll be meeting with them and ask for these things like international student healthcare, open educational resources, performance-based funding, and tuition fee cap policy. Like there is no cap on international student fee, so we are requesting government to set a policy and set a cap so that there is a limit that how much institutions can increase fee for international students. And these are general RRCSA's advocacy priorities that we have online or like around us in our organization. First is financial aid, and we are working on mental health support to open a mental health space. We are working on it. We are having meetings with the college for this as well. The next is student life on campus. So as Steve also mentioned, we hired a student life manager for EDC. That's Denise. You can raise your hand. And we are also working on open educational resources so that students do not need to buy books and can have free access to those. We are working on it. It is not done yet, but still, practice makes a man perfect, or try again until you get succeed. Next, we have employment opportunities for students. We are having career fair in January, so you can come there, and it is in Notre Dame, right? And here as well. Okay, on both the campuses. So you can always come. You can come there and meet different companies. We are inviting companies from outside for students to get employed. We are also working on EDI, that's equity, diversity, and inclusion on campus, and we are, gaining more EDI pieces in our association as well, and different community members from different communities on our board as well. And these are the websites for CASA, MAPS, and SA. So you can always contact us, or if you have any questions on these advocacy priorities, you can talk to me, or you can also contact Prachi. She's VP External. She's not here right now because of her classes. So you can contact her online or whatever is best for you. That's the presentation. Any questions? Yeah.
In your plan, do you have any public recommendations I think we already have the student center here and at NPC, and we have the support staff. But anywhere that there's advocacy at provincial level, or even within the schools itself, that we have access to funding. I know that I've been working on terms of reference for an Indigenous Youth Council, which actually Steve, I want to talk to you about that later, to have more supports on campus that we are, because if we're going to do land acknowledgements, which in all honesty for me have been very tokenism at this point for me, but it's good that you got that it is because it's a part of the reconciliation process. But I feel that your presentation that you just had, that I did not see any Indigenous people RRC just signed a declaration in October, well, end of September to start off Indigenous.
Okay, so for that, like we are already advocating for Indigenous students on federal level, like to the federal government. We had our federal advocacy week last week, so we were in Ottawa meeting with different federal ministers, advocating for Indigenous students as well. For PSSP program, I'm not very sure, but that's the program name you might aware of. And there is another program for IESTs, something like that. So yeah, there are lots of acronyms. So you can also, meet with me afterwards, after the meeting, and I can provide you with the document what we are advocating for. That contains all the information that you need. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Yeah, we can adjourn the meeting. So meeting is adjourned at 12:49 p.m. So we are doing a prize. We have a big prize. It's a Fitbit watch. So are you guys excited? I can't hear. Are you guys excited?
Yes!
Okay. Okay, first let's go through the attendance. We want to make sure that the names we have here are all present here so that those who left, they don't get the prizes.
So we are gonna give one big prize, and then there's our 25 gift cards. That's $10 worth of Amazon's gift card. So we are gonna give away that as well. So first, we are going to first give the big prize, and then we will announce the next 25 gift cards.
Okay, let's take the attendance first. Jyotika Sharma is here. Okay. Janvi Sharma. It's Ian Yu Wong. Okay, I'm sorry. Correct me if I spell yours. Is it correct? Okay. It's Tram Tran. Okay. Pradzia Sentina. Charika is here. Teddy is here. Shabneet Kaur. Okay. Natash Singh. Okay. Janelin Navarro. Ryan is here. I can see him. And it's Kizan. Okay.
Sorry guys, we are pronouncing the names wrong.
Next is Jagnur Singh. Okay. Please raise your hand like this so that I can